Good morning. So Apple's stock reached an all-time high yesterday, pushing a $3 trillion market cap. If it hits that $3 trillion market cap, it's going to be the largest market cap we've ever seen from a stock. It'll be the first company to actually hit that. Look, I'm not good at identifying where a good spot is to buy stocks. I know Kix has a lot of experience with that. I can't wait to get Nick on here to hear his take on Apple stock. Easy, have you been paying attention to this at all?
A little bit, not too much. I hold Apple shares, but like just seeing the all-time high after all-time high is wild. I didn't expect it to continue to run, but like I guess after the back of like the Nasdaq posting green candle after green candle and Nvidia breaking what it did, it's not terribly surprising to see trickle-down effects across the board there. So like I am definitely, I don't know if it's Apple. I'm almost more interested in Microsoft here personally. Just not yet to make an all-time high, but having the chat GPT side of things, having that exposure, that user base, etc. That's where I am more interested. So I'm starting to like zag another zig here, I guess you could say. And seeing Apple push that all-time high has me a little bit more interested in some of these other traditional equities and companies.
I like that Microsoft pick. I own both, but Microsoft.
It seems lagging here.
Microsoft has always done pretty well. The fact that it's at an all-time high right now after the announcement of what's the name of their VR?
The Vision Pro.
Vision Pro. The fact that they're at the front with Vision Pro makes no sense whatsoever in my mind. Like, is everyone going to buy one of these things? Is that like what we're pumping the stock on? That seems difficult for me. So I would definitely, I like Easy's pick here. Microsoft over Apple. You said a good entry point, PO. Usually they say to buy at the top and then to sell when it goes down. So at least that's what Warren Buffett said. So I like to follow his advice. In general, all the ones, whenever I buy any of these companies, though, I'm just like, it's in like my not 401k, although I'm sure my 401k has them. My like one of my investment accounts, I'll just like buy and hold some shares of whatever that company is. For example, like Disney, Apple, Microsoft. I don't know, but it's not as exciting. It's pretty standard fare there with buying and holding stocks. It also very interesting, U.S. Treasuries. Let's talk about bonds, Easy. Which sort of bond are you interested in playing with right now? Are there any corporate bonds that you're interested in getting access to?
I'm looking at 20-year fixed rate bonds personally. I think those are solid. I'm also looking at the Forex exchange. Some British pounds could be interesting here, especially as they continue to move. That's looking solid, looking sizable. The yen is becoming a little bit more interesting as well, but I'm not sure if I want to go straight currency or if I want to buy some of their debt on the books.
Yeah, it's challenging to make a decision there. The Singaporean dollar, though, is doing pretty well for you. It's a nice stable coin. Pio, sounded like you wanted to say something, but I just wanted to add real quick. I did just check my retirement account. I'm up 50% on my Apple purchase overall, and I'm up 130% on Microsoft. So I'm going to agree with Easy on that play. My Coinbase stock, get this, I'm up. So I'm up 0.5% on Coinbase, which is pretty solid.
Dude, before I got into during COVID, I got super into stock trading, and I was following this stock trader who I would pay like $15 a month to get into this group. And looking back at some of the purchases I made, I didn't sell any of them. I threw like a few grand each at like Zillow, Chegg, Wish, Penn Gaming, and I was looking at it last week. Those are all down like 95% from when I bought them. Just the Pico top. I am down atrociously on those. Where if instead I chucked it up, if I chucked it at Microsoft and Apple, I'd be chilling right now.
Twilio's another good one. I'm looking at the ones that I lost during that time. So I made small, tiny bets on a couple. Like I'm looking at how much I'm down on PayPal, where I bought. I'm down 72%, down to $130. So like those were small amounts. whereas all my gains is where I actually put all the money. Here's one that I held one share onto because I sold at the Pico top, but I wanted to remember it and see what happened because my ex was like, I'm a diamond hand it here. Peloton, where I'm at on that one share is 90% down.
But look, Nick, I mean, I could have told you that it's an exercise bike company that people were trying to pump up during COVID.
The real problem was when the treadmills were kids were getting stuck in them, PO.
The real problem is that I have one of these and it costs $40 a month subscription in addition to the fact that you got to pay a premium on the actual bike. It's like $1,400 for the bike.
What about the shoes, Nick?
I have the official Peloton shoes. Those are $120. That's less absurd in my mind.
But Nick, are those shoes optional? Or are they required to like?
Those are optional. You can well, you can go on Amazon. I went on Amazon, bought those versions, and they're not great. I was like, all right.
I just wear a normal pair of shoes.
No.
Okay. Well, sorry, I didn't know that.
You got to clip in, but I think the clip is fairly standard. Except you got to get the clips are in plastic. I don't know. Anyways, it's not a. It's not bad. The worst thing was buying their stock, but I actually made a bunch of money on their stock, so I'm happy about that.
You sold it at the right time. I mean, everybody knows I'm a big Tesla guy. Coinbase, I just looked. I'm up 50% on Coinbase, Nick. I was aping it pretty hard during the FUD period, if you will. Easy. Are there any stocks besides Microsoft you're looking at right now?
I mean, I'm in a variety of different global X ETFs just because I haven't been able to monitor it as aggressively as I normally do. Which just like those are things that I look at, like the EV batteries and stuff like that. They got a Driv is the global X autonomous vehicle, EV vehicle one that I'm a huge fan of. That's one I like heavily focus on. They also have an AI one that I tend to just like group in so I don't have to manage the allocations a lot. And I like the team over there. They continue to roll out a ton of new stuff and are very innovative on the ETF side. So it's way more passive for me. It's like instead of having to actively monitor, I can just kind of buy into buckets of industries that I think are going to be the outperformers and kind of just let those work.
I don't know if this is like an American thing versus European thing, or just maybe it's just me, but I'm really not into buying individual stocks. I did in 2020 when it was COVID because it was fun and like, you know, I felt like a hedge fund manager. So I managed to nail like some things, but most of the time I'm way more into indexes, and you just have the index, you get exposure to tech or get exposure to whatever sector you want. And then you don't have to be like fumbling these gains. But like, how do you guys manage your index exposure versus your stock exposure, considering the majority of the tech index is just pretty much Apple,
in
Microsoft,
America, it's delusion. In America, it's delusion. That's what keeps people investing individually. We all actually think that we're smarter than the market. When I literally just saw a graph this morning, I woke up and it was like why you should invest in index funds. And it literally showed like the return of index funds over however many years. And it's like 6.9%. And then it's like individual investing, it's 3.9%. It's just literally on average. If you try to do it yourself, you're going to do like twice as bad as the market itself. But it's the dream of being like, I'm a genius and I put $100K into Apple when it was $2 and now I have a yacht, you know.
Exactly. Didn't Warren Buffett like have a really famous bet that he did back in the day where it was like $1 million or whatever, where he said to a hedge fund manager who was all about alpha that over a 10-year period, my alpha fund will outperform the stock market. Buffett took the bet. I can't remember if it was 1 million or 10 million, but in the end, Buffett won and the index outperformed the individual stocks.
Free money bet.
That's always the case. My retirement accounts and even my brokerage accounts are mostly one index fund that I have that I put basically 90% of all my stuff into. But we trade NFT signal. Like you gotta at least flex your muscle and see if you can do well against it. But I'm not betting my entire future on Nick's picks. Like I just want to be clear about that.
Okay. This is my most degen stock play, and it's actually like 15% of my E-Trade. And I'm down 15% on it so far. It's called BFLY, Butterfly Network. It was a sauna guy, Chad from the sauna. It was one of his recommendations, but not from him. He does mostly crypto recommendations. His buddy who paid off a $3.5 million house, that guy is the guy that said butterfly.
BFLY.
Yeah, I forget what they do, but it seemed kind of interesting. So I put a bet on it.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, medical image diagnostics.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe
that's
AI.
an awful thing to wait. So they're doing the AI, or they're actually?
I said maybe. I forget, but the pitch in the sauna was good enough that I put in 15% of my stock.
Imaging will be absolutely wrecked by AI. It already has been, like, to a large degree. Like, I have a friend that works at a company that does sales literally of that sort of product, where they go in and they replace it. At a minimum, I think the people that are really going to get screwed are the radiologists who are.
Yeah, it says Butterfly Network is reinventing itself based on generative AI, which will help develop medical devices and deliver customer service for imaging.
That's pretty good. I'm glad you knew that before you aped in.
That money coming to me.
Well, I hope Butterfly works out for you, Kicks. Look, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to discuss Yuga's heavy metal forging game that's launching today. We're going to update the latest updates in the AZUKI ecosystem from Zagabond and a statement from NFT whale Pimp Capital. And of course, the highly anticipated Bitcoin Ordinals drop that's launching at 10 a.m. today, 45 minutes from now. Look, before we get into it, we have a very special free NFT today. So we want to shout out the artist of today's free NFT. That's Adam Tastic, a friend of the show. Adam Tastic is a creative director and digital artist that tries to spread joy and positivity while also provoking thought. His art pieces are character-driven, vibrant, and whimsical, inviting viewers to connect with their inner child. His companion Genesis generative art collection, Shapeshifters, is live right now. Check the pinned tweet to learn more and stay tuned for the free NFT password at the end of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is part of our artist spotlight series that we do here at the Nifty. It is something that is completely free for artists. In fact, we actually pay the artists that participate in it. We want to support artists in the space, give them some visibility. So we welcome them to drop free NFTs on our platform. The art's always super dope. If they have a drop, then we like to, basically talk up the drop in parallel. So we're really, really excited about Adam Tastic. He was on Artist Spotlight that's hosted by Signal, and the free NFT is through Adam Tastic. If you're an artist and you're interested in getting paid to be one of the artist spotlight artists on the nifty.com NFT platform, then reach out to us. We have a form. I believe it's the nifty.com/artist. Clemente can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you said that's right. The nifty.com/artist if you want to get involved. Also wanted to give a quick shout out to Lacoste, who just launched their unique community experience titled The Mission today, featuring a series of quests, quizzes, and community events for holders to climb a leaderboard and win prizes. Pumped that they're sponsoring us. They will be joining us on the show next week to talk about it. In the meantime, check out what they announced. Clemente's got the pinned tweet at the top. Shout out to our sponsor, Lacoste. I'm sure you've seen the alligator before. I'm sure you know who Lacoste is. Anyway, we got Signal on weather today. Signal, please take it away.
I'm really happy about Lacoste. I'm a big fan of their clothing line. And if anyone ever meets me in real life, I'm normally sporting the alligator here or the alligator shoes. So big fan of Lacoste. Awesome. Anyway, guys, let's get into that weather. Thursday, 29th of June, GM. So total market volume, we're obviously down from yesterday post AZUKI mint, but total market volume still pretty healthy, coming in at 44.6, Blur at 19, while OpenSea holding strong, still at 8. On to leaders, you got Apes at 37.7-ish, Mutants holding that 7.4 area, Punks at 46.6, D-Gods now at that number one rank, 9.8. AZUKI holding 9.1. So we've had a little bit of recovery there. Captain's nice and steady waters at 7.4, and Pudgy's just a solid penguin at 4.2. Over the past 24 hours, let's start in gaming. It's all about heavy metal. It launches today. Gaga described the game as a mix between like a pet game with a casual world builder, but later it's going to turn into some kind of dungeon crawler. And then just like Dookie Dash, poof, gone forever. There's been mixed reactions on Twitter, but that floor is holding 0.8, which is up for 20% on the day. On to PFPs, and Zagabond alongside the AZUKI team will have a garden stages in the Discord today at 6 p.m. Pacific. Some holders like Pimp Capital believe original Azukis will remain a store of value, while OG holders like Grail.eth on Twitter believe that the team have to address the rarity, the art similarity, and involve the community more if they're going to get this right. On to some mainstream news. Well, NBC News has reported that Spaces host Mario Nawfal, he blew up during that FTX fiasco. He is being investigated by federal authorities after 2 former employees reported that he embezzled funds. And then lastly, it's on to more games. Big gaming news at the moment. My Pet Hooligan has been officially approved by the Epic Game Store to join their early access alpha waitlist. Last week, we just heard about Gods Unchained. Now we've got My Pet Hooligan, and that means there's going to be at least 18 games, 18 Web3 blockchain games set to launch this year in the Epic Game Store. That is epic to hear. On to crypto, BTC at 30,600, ETH holding that nice high 1870 range. Solana just bam, almost touching $18, while Ape just steady at 2.2. Crypto looking beautiful. Solana, the prettiest of the day, but it's looking like green shoots and spring flowers and sunshines and rainbows and unicorns over in crypto if you hold a good bag. Back to you, folks.
Well, I love the flourishes in the weather report from Signal today. She woke up smelling the flowers.
Sunny over here, man. Sunny, just so sunny over here. Just poor.
What's that song? I also love, for those of you watching on YouTube, or excuse me, for those of you that are just listening, we have interesting outfit selection today. We got Kicks rocking basically a tank top as if it is summertime. And then we have Sig rocking what I would call a boxer cutoff.
Shoulder pads, baby. That's what they are. Just ready for the game.
Honestly, I wish I had her style.
What we all do.
It can happen. You just need to add shoulder pads and a little bit of sleeve. That's all you're missing, Kicks.
I'm almost there.
Almost. You got the cap.
Oh, yeah, you're almost there, buddy. Literally the only person that's almost there with fashion on this show / in this business is easy. Maybe some of the artists that are on the show can compete with Signal too, but Signal's the consensus #1 in terms of fashion taste. Anyway, some updates from the Nifty Daily Digest, which is the daily newsletter released by the Nifty.com. You also need to have an account at the Nifty.com to mint today's free NFT and all free NFTs on the Nifty.com. So what are you waiting for? Go make an account now. FTX, the cryptocurrency exchange that we all know, which was involved in one of the largest financial crimes in history, is reportedly exploring a relaunch and is currently listening to proposals with plans for a necessary rebrand and a stake for existing users in the potential restart. We'll see how that shakes out. Moonbirds will reveal 50 mythic eggs and 50 oddities daily starting in July, transforming them into Moonbird Mythics as part of the long-awaited IP collection. Last but not least, Warner Music Group and Polygon Labs have launched a new music accelerator program offering funding and resources to projects at the intersection of music and blockchain, with a focus on decentralized music distribution, artist fan communities, on-chain ticketing, and music-related collectibles. On-chain ticketing and music-related collectibles makes a lot of sense to me for sure. We'll see how the other things play out. Those are your updates from the Nifty.com. Reminder to go to the Nifty.com, connect your Ethereum and Solana wallet. Our official wallet partner, Phantom, offers both ETH and Sol wallets, and all you have to do is import your seed phrase. So shout out to our sponsor, Phantom, our recommended wallet of choice, best UI in the game, and quite frankly, just best features in the game in general. Anyway, ahead of their launch, Yuga Labs has officially revealed further details about Heavy Metals Forge. I saw the animated video they put out. I will say I think it's pretty strong, and it seemed like many in the audience also thought so. It seemed like there was a very positive response to the Heavy Metal video. Clemente's got it pulled up on the YouTube now. It's pretty damn well done. I think you'd call this anime, right? This is an anime style as well. Is that fair to say?
Anime is just short for animation. So, you know, like, isn't everything just an anime? Into the Spider-Verse, great anime. You know, like, at the end of the day, I think that's what it is. It definitely has some underlying traditional anime tones, but they did a damn good job on this. I was watching this and I was like, damn, I like this much better than the graphics they were rolling out previously. There is some pushback on the Heavy Metal game, though. Some people saying that they don't know why anyone would play it because it's not like Dookie Dash. It's way more idle based, it seems. But then the other key thing is like there's this huge social sentiment side of it where in order to win each season is going to be, I think, 3 weeks for a total of 18 weeks. So what's that, 6 weeks? Yeah, something like that. 3 weeks, 6 seasons, something like that. But the thing that with that is like you have to have people vote for what you build on the land to try to get. Yeah, this looks unbelievably dumb.
Jesus.
0% chance I'm wasting my time clicking to watch poop off my digital floorboards.
Damn, Spencer went hard.
You can see some people certainly feel a specific type of way.
I wasn't sure if he was trolling with that or not.
No, that was dead serious.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I mean, I'm definitely a type of gamer. Like, I like to beat people and talk shit. You know what I mean? I'm not like, I don't naturally do like collaborative, like, hey, check out my thing. Come over here and like give me a vote or whatever like that. I'm more like
you could downvote everybody's forges, right? And then the CGO of Yuga yesterday said that when you downvote somebody's forge, like that's what's gonna spill oil onto their tiles, and then they'll have to use it. So you just yeah, dude, like Machi's gonna have so much oil on his forge, it's gonna be insane.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Kix is, if you don't know, Kix is the CEO of Crypto Raiders Gaming Studio, so no stranger to the crypto gaming space. It's a venture-funded crypto gaming entity with 2 games in the market now, and it sounds like a third on its way, potentially more. Kix, what do you make of idle play games in general? Do you think this is an appropriate response from the audience?
I mean, they're definitely like a really popular genre, and it's a more casual like genre as well, that like more people can like play and enjoy, right? Like a small percentage of people out there were actually good enough at Dookie Dash to like feel like they were keeping up with the pace, right? It was just it's a Twitch game, it's a twitchy game, it's highly skilled, right, with like mouse movements. This game is going to be a lot more social, collaborative, fun. So I actually think strategically it's pretty smart because more people in this immediate space are going to be able to like play and keep up with it, right? And also, since it's like a progressive game, they say it's going to change over like the season. So apparently you're going to start off like building your base, clicking, and then you're going to do some sort of like roguelite dungeon crawler-esque kind of thing later down the road. So they're going to switch it up. So I think it's actually like a really smart game for them to come out. Like, I don't think that they're just always going to have like one style of game. Like they're not always going to have Dookie Dash style games. They're going to have a Dookie Dash game. Then they're going to have a game like this. That's like more of a clicker, social, yada, yada, yada. Right. And then I'm sure components of this game or like the next game will be a more competitive game. But yeah, I think the strategy's smart.
Everybody hating on this.
Like, I want to play it.
It's ridiculous. Look, I want to try it out, but the bottom line is someone actually delivered a game. Like the best tweet was the one I retweeted yesterday from
9gag CEO Ray.
Yeah, was like basically you can't fucking win in this space, and I think this just shows that. And it was like last week people hated it, now people like it. Everyone provides their commentary. This is the same as someone's commentary on politics. I don't give a shit what you think about politics. I'm just gonna be straight up because you have no influence over anything in the political spectrum. Basically, like there's no like it doesn't matter. Is the same commentary that everyone's providing about like is this game good or bad? It's way better than anything that anybody else has delivered. So like they've now created both a runner game. They've flexed their muscles and delivered a different type of game, which is more like Tamagotchi sort of thing. Although it'd be cool if it was on mobile, but whatever. It is on mobile. It is on mobile, on a mobile app.
Yeah.
There you fucking go.
I don't know if it's an app, but I know there's mobile. There's
a mobile responsive website. Okay, these are 2 separate things.
Very different. But Nick, they also rolled out a way for people who don't hold the assets to play. Yeah. Like that's the thing I'm more interested in is there's a free to play option of this game, which is exactly what gaming should have. A free to play and like a premium version of it.
and you get an extra couple points if you own an $80,000 asset, which is pretty cool, right? Like all you got to do is buy an $80,000 asset to get some additional perks inside of that game.
Oh no, Nick, I'm downvoting you every day, dude.
Every day I'm downvoting Nick.
Dude. You're gonna be like, oh god damn.
The only negative score in the entire game. But that's the one thing with this is like it's like a social dynamic. So like my concern is like what happens when somebody wins who literally didn't play the game at all, like didn't even log in or logged in once and just convinced an army of people to vote for them. Like
I don't know if you can do that though, because you have to at least do the bare minimum. I think you have to build your
You have to wipe
board.
2 poops off the floor.
No, you have to build your board to get to the portal, right?
Yeah, you have to build to the portal to access the leaderboard.
And then you gotta
what allows you to go. Nick, shut up. That's what allows you to go to other people's forges and what allows people to come to yours.
Interesting. Okay, so there's also some more to it.
And with the social like integration shit, there's also like a tweet mechanism, right? So you're gonna see like the check out my forge, right, with like a picture. And if you get like 20 likes,
baby.
Yeah, I think he said if you get like 20 likes on it, there's like some small boost.
It's cool. It's a smart, so it's a social dynamic game, which is going to be very interesting, especially since like a lot of people on crypto Twitter are like on Twitter all the time, right? Like it's going to be really interesting to see.
But isn't there a risk that this just turns into like ApeCoin Special Council voting part 2?
Yes.
Because it's like you could have somebody who has 300 followers who has an amazing board but doesn't get the visibility just because they don't have the like the social clout, and then you can have someone who has 50, 60, 70,000 followers who is, you know, liked well enough and then doesn't get too much oil put on their board and they just go to the top. So I think that bit I haven't quite figured it out, but the bit about it being free interests me a lot, just simply because I would never spend that amount of money on this game, just having seen a trailer. It didn't compel me. Like Dookie Dash compelled me to spend, but it was like Kicks are saying, very Twitch, very fast paced. You know, you just want to get in the sewer. But this was a bit slower. So like, I will play this because it's free, and if it's good, I will upgrade and pay for stuff. But if they hadn't made it free, I wouldn't have played the game. It didn't entice me enough. But I'm a casual gamer, so I think I'm the one who's like, you know, out in this group.
I'm not interested in even playing the game. Hey, Bunny, shut your mouth real quick. So thank you. So in terms of this game, I don't know that I'm interested in playing it, but I just think what they've accomplished is significant, and they're out there building, and they have skin. You know, the what is that Roosevelt quote that Kevin Rose
in the arena?
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Man in the arena.
He quoted that
as others would do unto you, son.
No, he quoted the one about the having skin in the game, essentially, and then wrote that he's tired of being in this space. But
what? I don't know what language Kicks was speaking there. Oh, Kicks, what was that comment?
He's just made like a Jesus quote. He's like, "Oh yeah, the Jesus do unto others, they will do unto you."
Wow, Kicks, I don't think you're crying right now from laughter. I don't know if I've ever seen this. Wow, Easy really Easy broke Kicks. He's crying from laughter. This has never happened on the show before.
I've ever heard.
No, you can unmute, buddy. It's no problem. Maybe that wildfire air quality you're referencing is getting you.
Well, no, I also have higher levels of oxygen coming in through me. So, you know, just like the jokes, like, you know, they say like you only can use 80% of your 20% of your brain. It's because you don't have enough oxygen coming in. I'm even looking at, you know, they have tanks of oxygen you can just like spray into your mouth. They're for like hikers and stuff like that.
There you go. The commenters on YouTube are commenting on how they also thought Easy's comment was funny because it was just a random ass quote and not relevant to what Kevin Rose said. It was the golden rule is what it was. It was literally just the golden rule. Well, there you go. Anyway, Nick, so yeah, I mean, look, you're referencing what Kevin Rose said, what 9gag CEO said. I know Gargamel, the now CEO of Bored Ape Yacht Club, had a comment that went quasi-viral on crypto Twitter recently, which was someone said, I think someone in their Discord, in the Bored Ape Yacht Club Discord, asked Gargamel.
No, it was Tropo, and it was on Twitter. You're talking about the quote tweet?
That was from a long time ago, and that was Gordon Garner responding to Twitter troll, well-known Twitter troll Tropo Farmer, and that where he said to him, "Why don't you go and build an NFT company and get everything right?" But the quote I was talking about is someone recently in the Bored Ape Yacht Club Discord tagged Gargamel and asked, "Are you guys building anything over there?" or something along those lines. And Gargamel's response, which I could totally relate to, is he goes, "No, I'm just in meetings 24/7 for no reason." Or like, "No, I'm just stressed out and in meetings 24/7 for no reason." That's all I'm doing. You know, you guys building anything over there with your little $1 billion valuation gaming studio? Nah, nothing's going on over there.
The NFT space. I mean, the problem is, well, I just saw a tweet from our own thing, which was someone was like, aside from Easy being an OG, I'm looking for a tangible reason to buy Bodogos. And it's like this sort of like commentary around this. I'm like, give me your analysis on literally any other NFT project. I'm going to be honest, there's no good reason to buy most NFTs other than it looks cool. That if that's your reason for purchasing it, then I think you won. And if you can afford that and that's all good, then you've won. If you get anything else above that, then I think you've won in this space.
But it's also like the argument for utility constantly, like utility. Like most of the time you tell everyone what you're going to deliver. After 2 weeks, they don't want that same thing anymore. And then they ask for something new. So why not just take the approach we're taking here and just ship and then announce and continue to deliver on that? Like, for those that haven't seen it, check out the nifty.com. That was all done in the last 3 months before we ever had like something to hyper focus and deliver to. And now with the dogs, there's exactly that reason. So dogs and portals, hand in hand, it's the focus. Like, I've gotten a ton of comments like, what have you built? What have you done? What is the utility? And it's like, come along for the ride. It's been less than 48 hours. And I promise after a little bit of time now, you're not going to be like, what is the utility? Because you're going to have stuff to be like, oh, damn, these MFers really did it.
And we went through this already with phase 2. Basically, there's zero acknowledgement over any sort of progress in content, right? There's no respect put on that. We've got 7 million YouTube views, 30,000 plus subscribers, 110,000 subscribers on our platform, 20,000 weekly active users. And people are like, yeah, but what have you done? And it's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Went viral on 3 different social media platforms, not stopping, but now singularly focused on digital collectibles. We just put out the digital collectibles, and stay tuned for more. Anyway, just to wrap,
joining a multi-level marketing.
That would be an interesting thing to do, is if we turn this into an MLM. That would be quite fascinating, because then the utility would be, if you stick around long enough and you get enough people to join, you get yourself a Lamborghini. And I'm looking forward to welcoming you into the executive club.
Dude. Speaking of that, there was a kid in high school who was heavy on MLMs, and he showed up one day in the Mercedes that he got from like being really good at convincing people to join it. I think it was 4 or 5 days later, that same Mercedes got towed out of the parking lot because he was no longer in the organization. So he drove it to school and it just got taken away.
Did you see this TikTok of so there's a kid on the screen? He's like, I'm about to tell you how to get free Rolexes and other things like that.
That's a good one.
And literally, he's like, so I open up companies and then I get credit cards with that company. He failed to realize that he's putting in his own social security number to get those credit cards. But he's like, I'm not personally liable for anything associated with that business. And I just bought a Rolex, basically.
Dude, did you see his follow-up? He dropped a follow-up video.
Really?
Oh my God, you got the follow-up video is even better. He's like, because it's this like, I think he's British, maybe a British guy. And he comes on and he's like, listen, I understand some people are saying I may have committed fraud. It was a joke. And that's like the whole video. It's so good.
I just like, made this up.
I fucked up.
Nick, the best thing is he didn't just buy the Rolex. Then he's like, then I go pawn the Rolex for
for cash.
For 90% cash. And he's like, and the cash is tax free.
That part, the tax free cash, I forgot.
It's not even income, dude.
That is hilarious. So now he's like, but he got to wear it for the video. He's like,
and he's in front of this like huge house in a pool. Like,
yeah,
it's so wild.
You know, he expensed it. He had 4 Amex Platinums literally sitting there And the whole thing is just, oh my God, that kid
This guy's mind exploded when he heard LLC meant limited liability corporation. He's like, dude, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Limited liability.
I will say that is a nice part. And when you first hear about that, that is something that you feel like is a loophole. And for corporations, it is the case, but there's still a limit. Like they can still hold the executive team negligent for certain behavior. And if you're a team of one, I apologize, Jim.
It's that air quality. Look at my sub name.
If you're a team of one, good luck defending that position.
And also, it doesn't limit you from liability of committing just straight fraud. Like that, you can't like murder someone via an LLC and be like, oh, limited liability, got you there, bud. I'm good.
That was the company. My company is a hit company. We go and tell people, actually.
Yeah, I'm limited though, man.
I'm protected on this.
My favorite part about the video is that it's all about just acquiring a wristwatch. Like that's like what this guy's mission is. He's like, I got to get this wristwatch.
Okay. I found the second one too. You got to see the second one.
All right, let's play the second one. We'll have a little fun, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you post it in private?
Yeah, both are in there. The first one's the first video of him in the pool, and the second one's like, it's just a prank, bro.
Clemente's pulling it up. So we can do the second one. I'll give you the summary of the first one. He talks about basically opening up business. This is the guy again. It's just a prank, bro. Let's see. Let it go. And then we're having a little fun, ladies and gentlemen.
The funniest part about this whole video is how many of you guys thought I was being serious. You had to be fucking stupid to believe that you can open a brand new business, get American Express, and be able to spend $100,000 without any history on the business or any of that kind of shit. I was trolling another TikTok video I saw, and y'all blew it up like I knew what fucking happened. Now everyone's commenting, fraud this, fraud that, fraud this, but there's no proof of me for anything because it was all complete bullshit.
Yo,
he also goes 100,000 for it.
there's no proof of anything. And he still got the watch on his wrist with like diamonds all over that thing. Like, yo, there's no proof of anything.
Sorry, I love the amount of this is the first time I've seen that video. So I love the amount of like lie signals that are with him, like at moments that he swallows, when he looks up with his eyes, and the nervousness. He's a baby. He must be like he looks like
16.
He looks 16. I have no idea how old he is, but there were just so many like lie signals in that video. Bless, he's gonna go to jail. Oh.
No.
You know what? Probably has pickleball.
That's true.
Probably has pickleball.
Kicks looked into federal prisons around tax time in 2021. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got you covered. If you need to do time in federal prisons, we know which one you want your lawyer to angle you for.
Someone should have just proactively been like, hey, like there's a reason Amex is giving this guy this much credit. Like it's because they want him to remain in debt and be like a loyal servant to him. So to them. So I think at this point he should just call them up and be like, okay, guys, I made these businesses all universally made some bad decisions. And so I'm going to pay you guys back, but I need a payment plan and you to shut these cards down. But good luck with that. They're going to charge him fees out the wazoo. This guy is completely screwed. I don't know what the interest rate on an Amex Platinum once you don't pay your bill is, but it can't be cheap.
I think it would be a lot.
30% for 3 years, and then they just take you to court. I'm pretty sure.
Well, look, wrapping up on heavy metal, we'll see what happens. Yuga Labs is a gaming studio, the single biggest one in the NFT space, the single biggest NFT company, meteoric rise, 1 year, $1 billion valuation. We'll see what happens with them. They have a lot of stuff going on, obviously, and they're not going anywhere. They have a war chest that will allow them to operate for quite a while. The latest in AZUKI. Zagabond tweeted that there will be a Discord call at 9 p.m. Eastern time this evening to address the current state of affairs. Some are speculating that a lot is riding on this call. We've seen blend loans skyrocket for Beans and AZUKI in the past 48 hours. We've seen, Clemente's got all the numbers corresponding to the loans. Pimp Capital, the NFT fund that has gone long $10 million worth on NFTs in the last couple of weeks, shared their buy thesis for AZUKI, essentially stated that AZUKI is copying the exact Yuga playbook and that OG Azukis will become a store of value. They'll get priority airdrops and mints and receive a higher yield when the token is released. Elements are for the profile picture, as in mutants, and betting on the market not adapting to the new trend quickly, the new meta quickly. And once the painful process ends, you'll find Azuki in a better position. This is what Pimp Capital laid out. Obviously, Pimp Capital has a lot of Azukis. What do we make of the current state of affairs of Azuki? I bought the FUD on Beans and on Elementals the other day. Haven't checked how that's going today. But what do you guys
Elementals
make?
are up. Yeah, you're not
Are
doing
they?
too bad. Yeah, Azuki elemental beans, not the not the pinto beans like Clemente. The elemental beans are back over mint. They're at 2.15. The revealed ones I think are like 0.16 or 1.6.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, up
Coming
slightly.
back.
Yeah, so I do think they get back over mint price. I think that like that buy the FUD moment is really not the worst trade you can make. When the entire timeline saying this thing is doomed, they're screwed. Azuki's back up over 9. So like clearly the market demand is like, wait a minute. Okay, this could be something. Which like
yeah, it's almost 1.7 on Azuki's. Easy. I agree with everything you're saying, as long as the project isn't an actual rug pull.
But yeah, but I don't think Azuki's actual rug pull. Like, I mean,
Right.
at the end of the day, they've made $70 million right so far in just primary sales. Gold skateboards, another, I think like 3Ms, 30Ms. So I forget what it is. There's a zero in there somewhere. I don't know where. But they made a ton of cash. So they're sitting on some stuff. People were loving Hakkasan, which when you have that many community events, you got to think the community is going to rally around you and start to realize like this is too cheap, in our opinion, and start to deploy capital again. And that's exactly what we saw. So I thought it was a very good trade. You texted me and I was like, I would put a bid at 1.5 because you're going to have somebody dump into it where then you skip the royalty payment on your side. Buyer has to pay it.
You were right. I didn't listen.
Yeah, I'm just, well, that's now you're at 0.2 instead of 0.1 because of that. So I'm like, that's the thing. There's also speculation that the green beans are going to be used for actual Azukis to try to migrate the actual Azuki collection to a royalty enforced contract,
which would make a ton of sense.
Yeah, for everything else that they have in the ecosystem. But then there's complaints that Azuki art will change, which is some bother. So I think there's a bunch of moving dynamics here that really anything that happens next could be seen as a positive sign and catalyst. I do think this meeting tonight in their Discord is sort of like let's rally the community even stronger. I think we're going to see a ton of tweets after that whenever it ends, late tonight Eastern time, of people just gassed up, like really excited because the community is going to be the only one who hears about it. So the timeline will be filled with Azuki holders really excited about the project, which is really all you want. You just want to continue to cultivate that core community. Non-holders, their opinion truly doesn't affect anything because if they're not holding the asset, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll see what happens. I told you my thesis. You kind of touched on it right there, where when everybody's just fudding on Twitter and bearish on Twitter, as long as it's not an actual rug pull, that's almost certainly a great time to buy. This even includes when the Zagabond dirty laundry emerged. At this point, I want to say almost a year ago. Even that was actually a spectacular time to buy if you had a little bit of a time horizon. So that was the thesis that I operated on, and you don't get that many great, really the way to kind of operate in NFTs that almost is like easiest is to do that, is to basically buy dips that are due to FUD that isn't actually going to kill an ecosystem. And if the ecosystem isn't an actual rug pull, otherwise it's really speculative, investing in random projects where a lot of times you have no idea who the team is and you have no idea what's coming. Clemente, you brought yourself on screen, something to weigh in with?
Yeah, I also got my pause on Elemental yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I bought at 1.4, picked up like 25 blur points. Not a big deal or anything.
Wow, look at this guy.
The only thing that concerned me, Pio, and this is what I had in the call sheet is, so this is pre-Vegas. Basically what you saw and what I have on screen for people listening on Twitter is we have outstanding blur loans for Azuki and Beans. And basically what you see is post-Vegas, you see a huge drop down to like the 200s for both collections. And then yesterday, you basically saw a huge skyrocket on Beans and Azuki on outstanding loans. Right now, there's an all-time high on Beans outstanding loans at 911. So that's what 5% of the collection is benippled or has an outstanding loan on it. That to me is like, there's so much writing on this call tonight that one would hope that they get it right, but if it doesn't go well or there's something that goes wrong that people weren't expecting, we could see a huge potential drop off in beans and the entire collection. So a lot riding on this tonight.
I feel like also, but the loan data from Blur is so hard to interpret, right?
Yeah.
Because I think it's different than like a Bendow loan, right? Where you're like, okay, that person is obviously only doing this to leverage, right? Versus on Blur, there's the token farming aspect of it, right? So it's like, how much of that is people just like passing loans back and forth to get the farming points? And interestingly enough, right, because there's only a certain amount of collections you can take a loan on, right, Clemente? And Beans is probably the cheapest priced one now after their drop from 1.2 to 0.6. So I bet you can even run like a higher volume of like loans through that. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. But it's just so hard to know the order of like effects that these things can have on the market. So
also, as well, like there's so many moving parts to this and people's theories about whether this was done on purpose or it wasn't done on purpose in terms of this entire strategy. I mean, like, just to say, I want AZUKI to do well because I don't want there just to be one, like no market can grow and survive with just concentrated players of two companies who own the market. Like, that's not good for NFTs and whole profile pictures if that happens. So I want AZUKI to win, but I don't think tonight needs to be the solution. They can play this from a PR perspective whereby they don't even have to talk about rarity or how that's going to be sold, or what's going to happen to the art. If they were even to have a 2-hour, 3-hour, however long Discord call where it's just the community coming up and airing their anger and their feelings and how they think they can do better, that would be a win for them. It was a 3-hour Discord call. The community could come up. They didn't criticize us. They listened to us. And now they're going to go away and try and figure out what to do. That would make price go up. So I think like there's a lot riding on this call, but they can play it very safe if they just listen to the community and they don't even have to have a big announcement for price go up.
Yeah, I would bet on Zagabond nailing messaging tonight because that's historically been what he does. But we'll see. Who knows? If anybody in the space was going to nail messaging, I have to think it would probably be Zagabond and the squad. One thing on the whole, whether or not, this was all planned, it would actually make a lot of sense if they kind of planned this. If they were like, well, what if we drop elementals that look the same as AZUKI's? Everybody will complain about it. And then we'll use the green bean to transform the original AZUKI's, make them, crazy, migrate to a new contract, blah, blah, blah. That actually would make sense. The only issue I have with that is they kind of, they issued kind of like almost an apology or like this tweet thread. So I don't feel like they would have done that as part of the plan.
I don't agree with that as well. And also people have lost so much money. So can you imagine like if this was the strategy and then they're like, oh, we thought this was a good idea, but you have holders and whales and just sort of the space that have had so much negative sentiment, it would be a really bad strategy. So I think it'd be what if it was the strategy, deny it was the strategy and say it was a mistake. But I don't think they're playing 4D chess here, people. I just think it was an honest mistake by the team. Let's hope they nail that messaging. They have a good Discord call, and then AZUKI can go back to being AZUKI, and we have competition amongst the leaders, so we get something good at the end of this year.
Yeah, exactly. And if it was that master I don't know. The only other thing is I saw Cyrus post 2 identical elementals. That was like a little bit
That was
scary.
a technical mistake. The team came out and said that there was something to do with the metadata and they're going to fix it.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes much more sense.
The one that I bought, look, all right, I don't want to get too fired up because I've kind of been shitting on AZUKI all week, but I want to pull it up. The one that I bought, the mouth is super messed up. It's like it's facing that way, and the mouth is like up here. What the hell is that? You guys
you don't understand anime.
Nick, did you want to chime in with something?
No, I agree with Kicks. Clemente just doesn't understand high quality art. I said it all along that these look whack anyways, dude. It's not my thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're a dumb idiot," and I'm just like, maybe.
No, you said that you don't think the AZUKI art, the original AZUKI art, is good. That's what you said yesterday.
I'm not a fan of it, basically. Like, it doesn't seem awful. I'm partial to a different style of art, okay? maybe the kind that we've been working on for an extended period. But I'm just saying that like it represents a moment in time where that style of art did not really exist. And then Oniforce came out also. And by didn't exist, I mean NFTs had not basically completely stolen that style yet and brought it into the culture, which is really there's a market for every single one of these types of art styles, or cartoon styles, comic styles, whatever you want to call them. That's just one style. And it's not a type that I'm a big fan of. That said, it's cool sometimes looking at different comic books and seeing the styles that they do, because it's just crazy that people actually are drawing, you know, those particular things. And as someone who's gone through that process, there's a lot of effort involved in it. It just felt weird the way that they rolled this out. And then also how there are errors, like Clemente said.
There you go. So moving on from AZUKI, obviously, you know, the art style is very specific. And Nick, I don't think that you're a huge anime fan, but moving on from AZUKI, we were going to talk about Memeland's fake reveal, but I think we're coming up on time. So I think it's really important to talk about Ordinal's Maxi Biz by ZK Shark, friend of the show.
Again?
It's about to go live, 10 a.m.
Okay.
So this is extremely prominent, Nick. This is like the talk of the town on Ordinals, which is now officially kind of like the number 2 NFT blockchain, more or less. I mean, it's Bitcoin, right? There's a lot of people that have Bitcoin out there. So I guess, Easy, what do you make of the current state of affairs with Ordinal Maxi Biz?
It's going to be fun to see how it moves on the secondary. $3,000 min price starts in an hour and 40 minutes. So a lot of speculation on that, a lot of speculation on what's to come next. They've been teasing a white paper. Yeah, it's for me, I'm just like kind of looking at it, and it's like ZK is currently regarded as like one of the leaders in the Bitcoin space. So a lot of people are really excited about this. My Bitcoin's currently frozen on Coinbase, so I got to figure out what's going on with that to move it to the hot wallet because I got a allow list. So I want to mint it. But I'm more interested to see what this opens up at secondary. You obviously have red and blue eyes at like 3 Bitcoin. So public at 0.29, whitelist at 0.09, huge price discrepancy there.
How many of these are there?
1,800.
This starts in 1 minute. 1 minute, right?
Yeah, 1 minute. Oh yeah, 1 minute.
Well, 2 minutes. Yeah, it's 10 a.m.
This is offensive.
I think it probably just sells out so quickly.
Yeah, it's literally a huge deal. Yeah. The provenance of the Satoshis is very, very sought after, or like, you know, those Satoshis are sought after based on the moves that Shark made immediately upon, you know, public availability of the Ordinals protocol.
Well, in PO, you also got to think like, look at like the top projects on Ethereum, right? Like almost all of them have like a strong leader presence, right? And on Ordinals, like a lot of the projects that were launched in this last run were just like kind of, hey, here's a collection of like fun art, right? And there was no like, you know, strong like leader presence. And now you have ZK. This is like the breaking out. And then also on the art side, you have Nullish, right? And so like naturally people are going to gravitate around things that like feel like they have a strategy, they have a plan, they have a leader, versus just like, oh, hey, here's another 10K art collection, right? So I think that, you know, how those two people perform over like the next couple of months, like they could break out as like, you know, the leader projects of which they already are to an extent, right? And then also Trevor, he's doing like a pizza drop project. There's some people trying to actually like, you know, like step up as like the projects that we saw appearing in May of 2021 on Ethereum, right? Like
exactly.
Moving from like hey, here's just a project with some art to like, hey, we're a business, we're a company, we're going to try to execute this roadmap.
Trevor, Shark, the guys over at On-Chain Monkey, you know, just to name a couple, those are kind of the quality entities that are building on Ordinals right now. From what I can tell, I know people are fans of BitGod too. you know, and keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, there's more people that are actually putting stuff out on Ordinals that's interesting. But those are some of the bigger names that come to mind. Obviously, Frank put out D-Gods on Ordinals, so you can't sleep on that. I think a lot of people are skeptical of 12-fold on Ordinals, given the high price that they sold at, but obviously it is Yuga Labs. We've never seen Yuga Labs have exposure to fine art before, and obviously they're a video game studio at this point, so I don't know how that one's going to, you know, shake out, but it is early and it is Yuga Labs, so don't, you know, I wouldn't sleep on it. But anyway, why don't we drop this free NFT? Clemente, what's the password for the free NFT?
The password for today's free NFT is Shift36, ladies and gentlemen. Go to the nifty.com/claim to claim today's free NFT with the password Shift36, SHIFT, and then the number 36 to claim today's free NFT by Adamtastic.
That's like actual art.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, this is a guest artist from our Artist Spotlight series, a gentleman named Adamtastic, friend of the show. Really pumped about this. If you're an artist and you're interested in actually getting paid to make submissions to the nifty.com, then go to the nifty.com/artist to have a drop on our free NFT platform. You know, an artist like Adam, for example, has a companion Genesis generative art collection called Shapeshifters. It's live right now. Clemente's got it pulled up on the YouTube show. The tweet is pinned on the Twitter show, so definitely check it out.
Can I share something cool about this, Pio? So
absolutely.
The cool thing about this is, so there's a 300 NFT collection size, but what Adamtastic did was he took one of these. So the free NFT from today is one of these that was generated, basically took it out of the collection and made it an open edition for the Nifty collector. So we're actually getting one of the companion drops today.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I like the art style. That's cool.
Of course, he's an incredibly talented artist. We love supporting artists in the space. You know, the Artist Spotlight series is not sponsored by artists. In fact, we pay the artists to participate. So we're really big on supporting artists in the space. If you're interested, go to the nifty.com/artist. If you want to support Adam, check out the Shapeshifters drop. Make sure you follow Adam on Twitter. All that stuff will be pinned to the top here on the Twitter show. Anyway, ladies, go ahead, Clemente, please.
Last thing. Guys, by the way, if you're a Bodago or portal holder, go to the nifty.com/settings. You don't need to put in the password if you don't want to claim the free NFT. You'll get that thing airdrop straight to your account. You don't need to lift a finger thanks to the fantastic coding from Nifty Nick.
We're also going to update the wallet. Some people are having wallet connection issues. We're going to resolve that. If you have a Ledger, it's that, well, Ledger actually works with MetaMask. It doesn't work with, I don't know if there's some issue with the Solana side of Ledger, but we're going to have that all resolved. I was actually coding some of that last night, and I'm instead just going to pay somebody to do it. But I have a resolution, and I know what we're going to do here. Pretty excited about it to make this way more seamless.
That's Nick's coding corner, ladies and gentlemen. Love to see the progress of the platform. It's only going to continue to get better. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. If it's your first time listening, we run the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. It's also available on YouTube if you'd like to see our beautiful faces, or Apple or Spotify podcasts if you want to share the podcast with people outside of the Twitterverse. As usual, make sure that you check out the nifty.com NFT platform. Make sure you check out Bodago's Solana collection released by Easy Eats Bodega and the Nifty right now, looking like it's a top 5 collection on Solana for volume over the past 30 days in just over just about 48 hours of being on the market. Couldn't be more excited about it. Claim your free NFT at the nifty.com, presented by Adamtastic, guest artist from the Artist Spotlight series. The password is Shift36. Hope you enjoy Adam's work. And of course, check out Shapeshifters, the companion Genesis generative art collection that he just put out. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow, ladies.